Hi, this is Tim Fieser with Freaky50Fitness.com, a website dedicated to preserving your wealth by rediscovering your health and its benefit to our nation's future. Well, today I'd like to go over my abs tutorial, where we go through several various ab exercises that are my favorites that I like to perform. Some of them are very basic that I'm sure many of you are able to perform, and some are a little bit more advanced. One of my favorite, and I'm going to lead off with this one, is the hanging leg raise. I believe, in my opinion, this is the best ab developer that you can do. And I believe this has contributed to the development of my abs by far the most versus many of the other ab exercises. So what I'd like to do is go through the various versions of the hanging leg raise, bent knee, and straight leg. And then we're going to cut away and go to my parking garage, and we'll finish up the tutorial there with many of the other various exercises. So let's get started. First, if you're serious about developing your abs and developing a strong core, I'd recommend buying a pair of arm hangers, whatever you call them, because they take the pain away from your shoulders and allow you to really focus on your abs versus your grab, your arm strength, holding yourself up on a pull-up bar. So again, I highly recommend these as great little tools, 14 bucks at Sport Mart. So get yourself strapped in. And the basic hanging leg raise is, first one will be the bent knee. You're going to draw your knees, feet together, up so your thighs are just about parallel to the ground. And then you're going to roll your hips forward slightly to contract your lower abs another couple inches and then hold. So the full repetition is something like this. So you get yourself in a hanging position, you lift your feet off the ground, and then you're going to slowly contract yourself up and roll those hips up, hold, and then drop yourself back down. That's one repetition. Notice how slowly I make the movement to really focus on my abs. You're going to notice a lot of people at the gym like to really go really quick. They use momentum to pull themselves up. That's not really going to work your abs. You want to really focus on the abs, and it means less reps, but eventually as you build your strength, you'll be able to do sets of 10, 15, and eventually up to 20. So again, it's a slow, controlled movement. Curl those abs up, hold, and then drop yourself back down. Variation of the bent knee leg raise is going side to side to add some oblique development. And that's simply where you're going to do the same movement, only you're going to twist your body slightly. So it looks something like this. You're going to twist yourself up, and you're going to pull your legs up to the side, and then down. And then you're going to switch to the other side. Again, you roll your hips up with that same tuck roll, and then drop it back down, side to side. Nice and slow. Pull that hip up, contract, and let yourself drop back down. Again, you want to avoid, really that swinging movement. You want to be able to hold the position up here to get that good contraction before you drop your legs back down. All right, so that's your basic bent knee hanging leg raise, straight away and side to side. More advanced movement as you start to build up strength and will really develop your abs is straight leg raises as you're hanging. So those look something like this. You're going to keep your legs straight, and you're going to bring them up to parallel to the ground, and lift them slightly 2 inches past parallel if you can. Hold your contraction, and then lower your legs slightly. You want to avoid a swinging motion. It's something like this. Hold, and then drop yourself down. Okay? I don't have enough lower space here, so I can't really strengthen my leg, lower my legs back to straight. Hold, and then drop back down. One of the things that I've like to add into my ab routine lately is to do a straight leg and see how long I can hold it. So I might start my first set by doing a straight leg hanging raise, only holding my legs up for as long as I can. Try to build up to 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 in a minute, and so forth. Once I've done that and really exhausted my abs, then I can go into my bent hanging leg raises and get more out of them. I've been doing my ab work for quite a while. So that allows me to get to fatigue quicker and get a better ab workout without having to do so many reps with a hanging leg raise. So simply to do an isometric hanging leg raise, straighten your legs, bring them up to the position, and then you just hold. And you can get a clock, check the progress, and really try to hold as long as you can. You're really going to feel the contraction in your lower abs if you can really get to that perfect L position. Again, I believe the hanging leg raise is probably the best ab exercise I do, and I focus a lot of time on it. So there are many other great ab exercises that you can do as well. And so what I'd like to do now is we'll cut away from the park. I'm going to head back to my parking garage, and I'm going to take you through the rest of this ab tutorial.
Hey,
this is Tim Thieser. We're back inside here after a very hot, muggy day where we demonstrated the hanging leg raise, what I consider the best ab development that you can do. However, not everyone is at that level of fitness, so what I'd like to do now is demonstrate the floor leg raise, which is something that you can use to build up to enable you to do the hanging leg raises. So let me demonstrate. First, you want to get a soft mat, or you can just do this on the floor as well. And there's two ways to do this exercise. One's more difficult than the other. The first way, which is a little bit easier, is to place your hands underneath your glutes. This will make raising your legs a little bit more easier. You can also put your hands behind your head, which will add a level of difficulty. Let me show you both versions. So first, we're going to take our hands, put them underneath our glutes, gives us a little bit of leverage. Then you're going to lift your shoulders off the ground, extend your legs, keep your legs straight, and then we're going to lift our legs to 90 degrees perpendicular to the floor, and then when we reach that point, we're actually going to pulse our glutes off the ground to get an extra contraction in our lower abs. So here we go. Always breathe out when you're doing the difficult part of the exercise. Okay, to add the level of difficulty, and depending on your back health, may prevent you from actually doing it with your hands behind your head. But if you, once you build up a good core, you can actually do it this way as well. Placing your hands behind your head takes away that stability by having your hands under your glutes, so you actually engage your side core a little bit more, which makes that more difficult as well. Another great ab exercise I'm sure many of you are aware of is just the basic floor crunch. Now, I believe, as I said earlier at our intro, that the best way to develop abs is with resistance. Just like any other muscle, your abs are muscles after all, right? But many people need to start with just the basic floor crunch. To execute the floor crunch, you just lay on your floor, put your feet, at an angle, feet flat on the floor, and place your hands either on your chest or behind your head again, depending on your fitness level. And you're just going to crunch up your shoulders off the floor, hold, and drop down. Breathe out as you crunch up. You want to feel your abs kind of coil up from upper to lower as you're doing the ab crunch. Another great ab exercise that you'll see a lot of people doing at the gym is called the Russian twist. And that's where you take a weighted ball, also known as a medicine ball, and you're going to sit, and depending on your fitness level again, you can either sit in a V-type position where you're actually lean yourself back and draw your feet off the floor, then you're going to twist side to side. Some people need to keep their feet on the floor for balance, as well as their core is weak at this point until they build up greater strength. So if you want to lift your legs up, keep your balance, and what most people do at the gym that I see is they're going to just twist the ball like this. I think that's fine. I don't think you're going to get as much benefit as if you took the ball and swung it above your head and side to side. Let me demonstrate. The reason that adds a degree of difficulty, and I got my cardio up a little bit, is when you're really swinging a weighted ball over, you have to really contract to stop it at each side of the contraction. So when I'm swinging that ball down, to prevent it from hitting the floor, I really got to tighten up and then start the momentum back the other way and really swing the ball over. So I'm getting more momentum with the ball by doing this, adding much greater difficulty than just this. Okay, people maybe do 50, 100 of these. Try this. You're probably looking at 10 to 30. Much more difficult, much better for your abs. Another great ab builder, and I prefer to do these after I've done a few exercises, are the planks. And that's where you just get on your knees, And then you're going to extend your feet behind you, and you're going to make yourself just like straight as a board. And you can either do them in the push-up position and hold. Most people like to go down on their forearms. And then you hold the plank for a count of 30, try to build up to a minute. When you really get advanced, maybe you try to hold the plank for 2 minutes. You can also do these on your sides to help develop your obliques as well. It's basically an isometric type exercise where you're just holding yourself still. I'm just going to do a 10 count for each version of the plank just to demonstrate. So we get down on our forearms. We're going to lift our body off the ground. We're going to be slightly parallel, but at a rise up towards our upper torso. We want to keep our lower abs tucked in. Try to keep your body as straight as you can so you're not leaning to one side, so that you're developing your hips and your total core. And then you're just going to look straight ahead and hold, like I said, build up to what you can. Maybe it's 15 seconds at first, 30, 45, a minute, and so forth. So this is basically your straight plank. The side plank is you're just going to turn to your side. Again, on your forearm, resting on your forearm. You're going to extend your feet out to the side, point your toes forward. And then you're going to lift your torso off the floor. So again, you're making a plank, kind of like a piece of wood lifted off the ground at an angle. Something like this. And you can hold yourself perfectly straight. And again, time yourself. See what you can do. Build up 15 seconds, 30, build up to a minute. You can add a degree of difficulty to this once you get advanced by taking a dumbbell and actually holding a dumbbell up. In this position, once you get really strong through your core, when you're doing the side planks. Okay? So that's the side plank, front plank, side plank. Now what I'd like to do is go through crunches on a BOSU ball with resistance. One of my favorites in addition to the hanging leg raises. So you can see here I've got a BOSU ball positioned here, and I've got a resistance band behind it attached to this pillar here in my parking garage. And at the gym, what you would do is you would position your BOSU ball at a cable system, and you can use the cables, figure out a weight that works for you where you can do maybe 10 to 15 reps. You don't want to do a lot of reps on this. Again, we're adding resistance, just like you're building chest muscles on a bench press or curls or whatever you like to build on. You're using weights in that 8 to 10, 15 range to build up. Same thing with this particular exercise when we want to add resistance. The BOSU ball allows us a little bit of stability work too with our core, as this kind of moves around a little bit as we're crunching up. So I'm going to position myself. This ball, I want to sit a little bit off to the front of it and not directly on the top. It gives me a little bit of leverage because I am using resistance, and it'll be much more difficult to execute this if you're trying to lay it exactly on top of the BOSU ball. I'm going to reach back, grab my resistance bands, get myself set up, and then I'm going to slowly drop myself back down, and then I crunch up. 1, 2, 3. The goal here is to go nice and slow and really contract your abs. Really pull forward. When you reach your last rep where you can't do anymore, try to hold that last minute in isometric pose, maybe 10 seconds. Really feel your abs contract. And then on that last one, just try to lower back as slow as you possibly can. And finish. That's a great ab developer. Another great ab developer is using the ab roller. I'm going to demonstrate that. And you do this in very advanced, standing up as well, which we're going to show you in a second. But the first way to go is to just kneel on the surface. You'd like to fold up a mat or something soft, because this is hard on your knees, okay? And this is great to develop your lower ab system, because you're going to roll out and you need to contract your lower abs to pull yourself back in. Now, as you're a beginner, you may not be able to go out as far. So you kind of will get the feel of how far you want to roll out and allowing yourself to be strong enough to pull yourself back. You'll get the feel of this through trial and error basis on how you want to execute this exercise. So the first thing is get yourself down in this position. You want to try to keep your back straight and use your abs to contract yourself back. So you roll out slowly. And maybe here you're feeling a little bit worried you're going to pull yourself back, so you stop. And then pull yourself back. Pull with your abs. A little bit more advanced, you can go a little bit further. And pull yourself back. And even more advanced than that, you can really try to extend yourself almost all the way out in the plank position. And then pull yourself back. If you've got bad shoulders, you need to be a little bit careful by going up too far. Again, this is something you want to build up to. 10, 15 reps if you can. So that's the ab roller on your knees. Once you get really good abs, and you've really been doing this a while, you can really challenge yourself. I think you should set your goals high. That way, you continue to push yourself. So one of the things that I saw someone do once was a standing roll. And I thought, wow, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. Well, I just kept at it, and now, again at the half-century mark, over 50, I'm able to execute that exercise, very difficult. Let me just demonstrate a more advanced version of the ab roll. So you want to stand, your feet pretty close together. You also want to make sure you get some good flexibility. You're working on your flexibility of your hamstrings. It's actually something that helps prevent sciatic nerve problems. Place your roller down on the ground, and you're going to roll out as far as you can, and you're going to contract yourself and pull yourself back up, something like this. It's a little bit more difficult here today because our garage kind of slopes down. We're kind of pulling ourselves back uphill. But you get the idea. Definitely something that you probably wouldn't start out with right away, but something that you can certainly work up to. So, one of the last things that we'd like to show is, again, a very advanced type of ab exercise once you really get strong with your abs. This is kind of something that you can execute to really impress people with your fitness level. Kind of show off a little bit how hard you've worked. Something to do for fun. And if any of you are kind of an 80s person like me, if you remember some of the Rocky movies, this was something that Rocky did in Rocky 4. So let me just show you a very, very advanced routine of laying leg raises when you're keeping your entire body straight and lifting yourself at your shoulders and then lowering your legs down. Very difficult, but again, set your goals high. It'll allow you to keep pushing yourself to be able to accomplish some of these very advanced, difficult exercises. So you need leverage behind you, because you're going to need to use your hands to hold on to something strong, because you need a lot of leverage to hold your entire body weight. So I'm going to use this chain with these hand grips, get myself in position, and we get my legs drawn up over my head, and then we're going to straighten our body out and then slowly lower ourselves down to our feet are somewhere about 1 foot to 8 inches off the floor. And then we're going to pull ourselves back up using our abs and our entire core to keep our body straight as we lift ourselves back up. Standing position. You'll really feel this all the way throughout your body. Your abs, your glutes, your obliques. Overall, very, very good core developer. So, that concludes our ab tutorial. We went through hanging leg raises that were very difficult, and we concluded with something very difficult, our laying leg raises with our body straight. And along the way, we filled in gaps with other routine ab exercises many of us have seen before, that you should execute and build up to that ultimate
core power. Remember, your body functions with your arms and limbs. Core is very important, and many of us neglect that. So, hope you enjoyed this core ab tutorial. And this is Tim Fieser with Freaky50Fitness.com, encouraging you to get healthy, to stay wealthy.